When Flight 743 vanished in 1989, its mystery became legend. 30 years later, the plane returns to the skies, promising luxury and adventure. But some passengers were never meant to leave. Flight 743 wasn't just a plane. It was a specter of aviation history. On its final journey in 1989, the aircraft disappeared mid-flight without warning. Its sudden reappearances 2 days later on a derelict airstrip, entirely intact but without its passengers or crew, baffled the world. The disappearance became the subject of documentaries, conspiracy theories, and ghost stories. For decades, the aircraft languished in a hangar, earning a reputation as cursed. Visitors to the hangar spoke of strange happenings, shadowy figures in the windows, faint screams in the dead of night, and the sensation of being watched. Ghost hunters and paranormal investigators flocked to the site, declaring it one of the most haunted places in aviation history. In 2023, billionaire Victor Harrington purchased the plane, calling it a piece of living history. He announced its return to service as a luxury flight, playing on its haunted reputation to attract thrill seekers and high-paying guests. Experience the ghost liner, read the promotional ads, a flight into mystery and the unknown. Among the passengers on its inaugural flight was Elena Marlowe, an investigative journalist with a personal connection to the plane. Her uncle, Captain Henry Marlowe, had been at the helm of Flight 743 on its fateful journey. Elena's reporting instincts and her family's lingering questions compelled her to board the plane, despite the chilling stories surrounding it. The interior of the refurbished plane was breathtaking. Velvet upholstery, golden accents, and dim, ambient lighting created an atmosphere of opulence. But there was something else, an undertone of unease, like stepping into a mausoleum. Each seat came with a ghost liner mystery kit, containing an old-fashioned boarding pass, a dossier on the missing passengers, and a replica of the infamous black box. The in-flight menu included cocktails like The Vanishing Point and The Final Descent. For some passengers, this was all part of the fun. For Elena, it felt like mockery. The flight began smoothly. Champagne flowed, laughter filled the cabin, and the engines hummed a reassuring rhythm. Elena tried to relax, but a strange sensation gnawed at her, a heaviness in the air, as though the plane itself was alive. Then the lights flickered. At first it seemed harmless, a technical hiccup, but the flickering grew more pronounced, revealing fleeting images in the dim light. A handprint smeared on a window, a figure standing in the aisle for a fraction of a second, before vanishing. Passengers began to notice other oddities. A man in first class claimed his phone screen displayed a picture of the original crew, though he'd never downloaded such an image. A woman near the galley reported hearing someone sobbing behind the closed lavatory door, only to find it empty when she opened it. Elena's own unease deepened when she discovered a tray of untouched meals in the galley. They weren't part of the catering service. They were decades old, preserved as if freshly served. The first true horror came an hour into the flight. The plane shuddered violently, though there was no turbulence in the skies. The pilot, Captain Richards, assured everyone over the intercom that the flight was proceeding as planned. But his voice trembled, betraying his fear. Elena decided to investigate. As she moved through the cabin, she noticed frost forming along the edges of the windows, even though the cabin temperature remained warm. Shadows darted across the walls, too quick to be human, and passengers began murmuring about figures in the aisles that vanished when approached. In the lounge area, the in-flight screens flickered to life. Instead of entertainment, they displayed grainy footage of Flight 743's original passengers. Their faces were blank, their movements jerky, like a corrupted recording. Then, one by one, they turned to look directly at the camera. A voice crackled through the speakers. "You're not supposed to be here." Panic erupted. Some passengers demanded to land immediately, while others tried to rationalize what they were seeing. The crew struggled to maintain order, but their own terror was palpable. Elena's investigation led her to the cargo hold, where the whispers grew louder. They weren't random. They were words, spoken in overlapping voices. "Help us. Find us. We're still here." She found an old locked crate bearing the original flight number. As she opened it, the plane shuddered violently, and a blinding light erupted from within. Inside the crate was the black box, but it pulsed with an unnatural energy, its surface etched with runes that seemed to shift when looked at. A shadowy figure materialized behind her, its form towering and indistinct, like smoke given shape. Its voice was layered, 100 voices speaking as one. "You've woken what cannot rest." The entity revealed the truth. Flight 743 had crossed into another dimension in 1989, a realm where time and space twisted into chaos. The black box, a prototype navigation device, had torn a hole between realities. The crew and passengers were trapped in that liminal space, neither dead nor alive, forever reaching out to the world they'd lost. The refurbished plane was now a beacon, drawing the entity and the lost souls back into the physical world. But they couldn't coexist. Only one set of passengers could survive the journey. As the plane's systems began to fail, the vortex reappeared outside, a swirling maelstrom of light and darkness. Passengers screamed as the cabin twisted, their reflections in the windows morphing into ghostly versions of themselves. Elena realized she had one chance to save the living passengers. Destroying the black box would sever the connection, trapping the lost souls forever. But keeping it intact might bring them back, at the risk of dooming everyone aboard. As the entity loomed closer, she felt the weight of its despair and its rage. "Elena," it whispered, "you can bring us home." Captain Richard's voice cut through the chaos. "You have to let them go." With time running out, Elena made her choice. What would you do? Step aboard the Haunted Aeroplane and experience the chilling tale for yourself. Will you uncover its secrets, or will you vanish into its endless night?